I don't feel very good. My stomach hurts. I had a baked potato and I put some vegan butter on it and some vegan cheddar shreds. And then I put some of my mom's potatoes on top of that with some salt and pepper. But I don't really feel very good. Today I had some toast with vegan butter and peanut butter, organic peanut butter at least there was that. And then I put a sliced banana on top, so I haven't eaten well. Not at all. People probably think that the banana is nutritious, but it's nothing but sugar. So I've had nothing but carbohydrates all day, not very much protein aside from the peanut butter. And I'm having a lot of indigestion and sort of like an upset stomach to the point where I feel like nauseous. And I haven't eaten well because I'm depressed because everybody's psychotic. And I'm like, why are you doing this to me? I may look psychotic, but I'm not that crazy. So there's people that keep posting stupid bullshit that's all a bunch of lies on my feed, and I'm like, just get over yourselves. You make no sense, and get the fuck off there. That's why I hide your comments, and that's why I delete them, because they're fabrications. They're complete lies. And the fact of it, too, that I have to deal with it at this far along pregnant. Like, do you realize how sickening that is? How perverse all of this is? How you just don't want to, you just plead the fifth. Like, as if it's not going on to my body. What happened, those months ago. I just don't get it. And then people are like, so you violate the contact order immediately after violating it? Yes. Fuck you. It's my freedom of speech. And if you don't understand that, then I'm not sure what to tell you. And I already knew that they couldn't utilize the stuff that I posted online as actual proof, viable evidence, aside from the fact that these videos are real. Like, these are all real videos. I'm not trying to feign anything or, place the wool over anyone's eyes. I'm not trying to manipulate anyone. I'm just showing you what's going on in my day-to-day life, why I am as crazy as I am, what's going down every day, so that people know that I'm just not doing well certain moments. I'm doing okay some, and I tried really hard not to be discouraged today, even though like all I did was sleep. And oh my god, this thing is so gigantic. I hate it. It's so in the way. It's such an inconvenience. And it's not that I hate the baby so much, because the baby's not the one to blame. But everybody blames him because all they do is force me to be under copious amounts of stress, irrational amounts of stress, sort of, what's the word? Excessive amounts of stress I shouldn't be having right now during a pregnancy. And I thought, what the fuck is going on? And everybody knows, since the baby is due in September, that's the due date, that it's not any other dude than the two dudes that fucked me around December 2nd and 4th. And I know I'm crude. I know I say the worst, most vulgar terms, but I can't help it. It's my freedom of expression. It's my freedom of being who I want to be in that way, explanatory in that way. Do I like cussing? No. Do I wish I had more appropriate things to do with my day? Yes. Do I wish I had more in my day than just me, discussing other people that have hurt me? Yeah. I wish I were more than in my life. I wish that I had, like, an actual home that I could take care of and maintain. But no. I bitched about my mom leaving the dishes, so they were soaking in the sink. And then earlier today, prior to taking a nap and things, and people said, you don't get out of your clothes. I washed these clothes when I was showering, and then I put them back on. What's the problem? Like, my mom's house and my house were never that filthy. We made sure that things were, kept up. But I can't take care of my stuff anymore. I refuse to care for myself in that way. I refuse to organize or deal with my crap that's going on in my life. The same with this falsified rape report scenario. What is wrong with you people? This isn't a falsified rape report. Just because I love him in that way now doesn't mean that I loved him then, because I left his ass alone after the fucking incident, and it was nice that I just didn't file that day, the few days after the incident. What's the problem? I was actually being compassionate, yet you have no compassion toward me, so that's how you're going to deal with this? Instead of dealing with owning up to what you had done, you're going to hide it by hiding me away and then causing me to have a criminal record? That's the same thing my ex-husband did. Sorry, what? Are you all the same? Yeah. Penises stand for one another, and then it's because they get pissed because I tell them to go suck one. So, what can I tell you? I mean, that's what you force me to do. And so, like, the fact that they say this isn't the first time, I've never filed a report against anybody before like this. I've never actually filed. There's a difference. My belly's so gross. This is gross. Like, look at how firm and weird it is. It's just like, oh, that's my gut. I'm gross. That's really, really gross. Oh my God. All of it is so gross. I'm gross. And they were like, and you're going to write a love letter to him? And I'm like, well, no, it's not to him. It's just my expression. I just say it like aloud. That's how it is. I mean, yeah, it's to him, but it's more like a journal entry. It's mostly just me talking about the shit that I've lived through, because nobody ever listens anyway. You know, like when you try to actually file for these things, people don't listen. People don't want to listen. People don't want to do their jobs in that way. They don't want to get down to the bottom of it. Instead, they just want to chalk it up to, yeah, well, you've got mental disorders and no one else does in these circumstances. Excuse me, what? Because they didn't go and search for them, but they have illnesses way worse than mine. I mean, a majority of them are alcoholics or chain smokers, and those are mental illnesses that people haven't diagnosed as fucking, you know, in their lives. Whatever. Just do some blood work and some whatever testing, and you'll see the difference between my persona and theirs, because I don't have any additives in me, and I'm continually trying to cleanse out and detoxify myself and the things that I do every day. So what I was saying was, I cleaned the kitchen prior to taking a nap today so that my mom didn't have to do it, but she made a comment that we would make the baked potatoes, and yes, I ate the entire potato in one sitting, and that's why I'm having such adverse reaction to it, because it's nothing but carbs, nothing but sugar, and I haven't been able to burn off any of it, so I'm just storing all this excess fat, and I'm worried, because I'm like, yes, I understand I have to breastfeed if it comes down to it, but did I want to do it alone? Fuck no. Did I want, it's nerve-wracking to just be like, this is my body, and I have to sustain a child, like, what? I didn't prepare for this. I didn't prepare financially or physically, or, I did kind of physically prepare for it because I was losing weight and everything, but I didn't think that I honestly could have children. I'm going to be completely honest. I was afraid, and I was fearful that I just could never conceive again, because like even with the boyfriend he lived with me, after the divorce. I didn't do anything about monitoring which days were which, so we just had, was it coitus randomly, and it was not the funnest because I was 300 pounds, so I didn't enjoy it to that point, and it was like, it was enjoyable to me at the time, I guess, but not now looking back. It was something I did that was really like sinful, grotesque. And, regardless of the fact that I enjoyed his companionship for some moments, it wasn't worth violating my body for in that way, or my home, and allowing him to destroy it. And people always argue, and then I realized, oh my God, I'm above that. I'm not going to argue with fools. That's irrational. I'm going to tell my perspective about it. That doesn't really state that I'm annoyed in that way. It actually makes me feel better that there are people out there that are crazier than me. It really does. It really makes me feel a little bit better. Just because I love and admire the father to this baby in some ways doesn't mean that I am not pained by what he had done. Physically, obviously, I'm having a baby. Like, that is not okay. Who does that? Just not okay. I'm trying very hard to see a positive side to everything. I'm trying very hard to see this going in a positive direction as opposed to the negativity that it started out with. It was not okay the way that he approached me. I knew not to accept his advances in that way, but when he took whatever he wanted, it's just how men are. And then they stand up for each other. They're like, well, I've done it before too, and I'll make it right somehow. I'll just give her money. I'll pay her, pay her child support. No, that's a violation of my corpse, my walking corpse. I'm not sure who told you that was okay or how that worked, but I know I'm condescending. I'm such a bitch. I really am. I always had this sort of, my mother knows. She knows I'm very opinionated in that way, where I didn't even believe in teen pregnancy. I didn't believe in people fornicating before marriage. I didn't believe in any of that. And I know I partook, but it was sort of like because I had been abused so much that was a way of me coping with it. And I know it was a negative coping technique. And I started to realize that the last, many years. And there were years where I went without. I abstained. So, and they know that. So it's not like anything that can't be traced. I know that every account that I've had, every profile, every app has been searched through, and so that they could know and recognize what type of person I am, how I interacted with people, how in moments prior where I was at my weakest, where I was just, it was bad. My psychological health had waned for many years, and even during like my divorce and everything, it was bad because of the abuse. And there's nothing that I can say anymore because I'm not trying to argue with anybody. These aren't allegations. They're God's truth. And it's coming from a woman that may not be the prettiest, that may have looked like she was just, she switched up her mind, she switched her story. But if you look at the long run, no, because I just sort of kept my mouth shut about what happened in my family. But I didn't really keep my mouth shut. There was always a trail. So that's how I knew when the moment that I spoke up about the abuse in my marriage, my divorce and everything, and the marriage that was there, everything was mishandled. I've never gotten the justice because the bros stick together. And I'm like, why? I didn't do anything. I didn't touch anything. Like, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. And I'm the first to just admit everything because I'm just like, why? Why would I want to harbor that resentment toward myself for having that in my conscience? And that's why I told what's-his-face, don't, you're making me feel bad. If you feel bad, then it's your own conscience. And it's going to eat at you forever. And that's what happened. That's why we created this. That's why this went down the way it did. Because we both had to learn a fucking lesson. And you may think that you're so much smarter than me, that you're so much more capable. You may think that you're better than I, but you're not. I feel like, if anything, you're my equal in that way. And there are a lot of people that are equals, and I know that there are people that have superior intellect. I know there are people that have superior, athleticism, or all these other attributes that are able to be envied in that way. Sometimes when I write, I have to take a moment to reflect on the wording and the positioning and the sentences, because too, when my mind processes things, my family was bilingual, so we had Spanish going on as well, and a lot of the verbs and the adjectives are switched in the sentences, and so sometimes I have to redirect my mindset. So people make fun of me, but in actuality, I have 3 different languages I can convey to people, and they'll understand me, even when I just sign, with the lettering and whatnot. And was it? I don't think sign is this way. I don't remember what the wording of that for signing. But yeah, and it's because I never practiced. I didn't know anybody that was deaf. I didn't know anybody that used sign. I just took, took the time to recognize that some people weren't able to communicate well, and the same thing with like animals and such. So I give people moments. I'm a very patient person. That's why it took me a week to realize that Jace, what's his face, wasn't like gonna reach back out. And I was like, what? You're that busy? You're that busy. You're that busy. Nice. While I'm all alone, carrying something, a burden that no woman should have to carry alone. That's hilarious. And the fact that I'm forced to have emotions for it where you don't have to, that's the sad part in society, because that's not fair. Even in this day and age, you are so devolved, you men, that not all of you, of course, like I've said, I've apologized before. I don't believe that all men are like that, but there's a majority of them that cannot manage, that are just so primitive, so barbaric, and so simple-minded that they can't manage to function. And they can't manage to get past their urges. And I had never had to truly deal with that in my life. That is something very new to me. I didn't expect that I would have to go through so many duds. And even now, I'm very scorned. I feel like this is a dud, no communication for 8 months, all the tears, all the times that I even videoed myself during that depression, knowing that, yes, this is all true, knowing that, yes, this is real, and people have been monitoring me, and then my threats to harm myself, it's gotten to an extreme, because you're not listening. You're not listening. No wonder I want to cut myself. No wonder I want to hurt myself, because it's still in the process of everybody fucking with me. Why are you doing this to me? Why do you keep me confined when in actuality it should be those others? And then you're always saying, like, I should have spoken up when it happened. I'm sorry, that's not how a victim's mind works every time. So the fact of it is that I am a victim, and I'm like, oh my God, I had to realize that. And then even in this circumstance, oh my God, I was so fucking humiliated. I could not believe it. I was so embarrassed I didn't want to say anything about it. And then I thought, no, immediately you should tell him, because he is the person that did this. So, and he did, because if you would have got me the plan B, motherfucker, we wouldn't be going through this. I would have just kept my mouth shut. I would have just traveled along and just, I know that sounds really bad too, because I've always just held it within. It's a very damning thing when you're a slut like that, when you're a whore, or treated like one, treated like a prostitute, treated like someone that is just disposable, easily discarded. That's why I didn't like it when people looked at me in such a way that would sexualize me. I thought that was really, really, and I understood that tiny bit of cleavage that I would show now and again got me the attention that I felt I deserved, because my face wasn't pretty enough. So, and people are like, they sometimes argue, but no, I have a weird nose. And I have big ears. I'm not stupid. I'm not naive to these points. I have crooked teeth. Some people even would tell me, they would get down to that and they would tell me, like, well, if only, you didn't have that crooked tooth. I have been so humiliated throughout, like, my dating life and everything, where I would just back off because I knew these red flags prior to a majority of it. A lot of them were really slick, very sly, like the father of this baby. And he can say whatever he wants, but the truth is that he didn't want anything to do with me, and that's why he wanted to just use me for the evening, or those evenings that I was there at that place. So if he would have wanted more from me, he would have reached out. He would have tried, he would have attempted, he would have shared some thoughts of what he perceived, might have. An apology would be nice, But sometimes you don't get that before you die. Sometimes you don't get that opportunity to make amends, or to hear it from their perspective, and to see if they actually have some semblance of remorsefulness toward the situation, or what they had done. But then if he admitted it, then he would be in trouble. because then it would have been already, oh, she filed for that. That's a technicality right there. So if I understand if he admits to it, then that would be a huge thing. But I didn't want him to get in trouble. That's why I waited a week. And so I understand that I go to an extreme, an excess, when I do call the police sometimes, but I can't state that I falsified the report because God knows I didn't. So and that's what makes me feel really weird, because I'm like, should I just lie? Because all those years when I lied, and it was just hurting myself. So why would I lie? Why would I lie for someone else anymore? Because I don't want to do that. It hurts my heart, and it hurts my body, and it hurts my mind. So, but yeah, I don't get it. And I don't understand why people would want me to lie and to say that I falsified it. Why would you want me to say things that aren't true? Why would you want me to say things that are going to degrade my character? Why would you say things that are going to hurt me in the long run? From my admittance to these criminal activities, I tell you everything. I tell everybody everything. I saw that. I didn't mean to say that, but that comes out because I saw that and I heard that, or I was witness to that, or whatever. But that's why people are probably like, let's pluck your eyeballs out. Like, I don't know. You guys are horrifying. You scare me. I guess that's why my eyes are so big, because I am traumatized. I am horrified at what I see around me, because that's not what I was taught to know. That's not what I engaged with when I kept coming back. What I kept engaging with was the positive, and that we should... That kitty. He's sniffing my dirty underwear. Anyway, oh my God. Why? Why is my life this? He's a filthy whore. It's a boy cat. Filthy whore. I know he's just smelling because of the pheromones and everything, but he just got into the hamper right now. He was checking himself out in the mirror a second ago, and then he climbed into the hamper, and I don't know what he's doing. I hope he doesn't pee on my underwear. I don't know. I've always had weird reactions with animals and stuff. Like a bunny humped me. A bunny would hump my hand. It was my aunt's rabbit. And I'd go down to the basement and it would chase me around to try to hump my hands. It was really weird. I don't know. He was a little dwarf bunny. I don't know. Every male is a pervert to me. I don't know what it is. I really don't. That's why I try to, even the majority of my dogs were all females, because I couldn't... the little male, he didn't get after me because I wasn't his type. Peanut Butter and all these other ones that I had in Cuervo. And then some lady had mentioned too, she's like, you broke your dog's back. And oh my God, I'm like, oh my God, that motherfucker, if I ever saw him again. And everybody's like, you're threatening everybody. I don't give a fuck. They literally killed my dogs. They literally fucking stole my dogs. They stole my fucking kid. They stole my fucking everything. And you're gonna tell me, because I disclosed that I want to fucking have that reactive abuse toward their abuse? Hell no. Fuck you. And you can eat my shit. No. Parker Green Snyder killed my fucking dog. And he killed my fucking kids. Alright? So, anyway. I don't know what's going on in my life. I realize now, slowly waking up, that I'm like, oh my God, there are due processes to things. There are some rules and regulations and all of these law shit that's like loophole here that gets away with all this crazy. And I'm like, what? What? Seriously? That's why I never spoke up, because I knew that shit was crazy in the first place. You guys putting everything on paper and going to the courts and fighting over this and that and your homes and your children and, accusing everybody of this and, look at all that fucking stuff with the celebrities on recently with the divorce and whatever. What? Nonsense. It's none of anybody's business either. If they're having issues, and yes, they want to separate in some civil manner, and they're not being civil, I can understand. Just like what happened in my case. Well, nobody talked to me. Nobody asked me anything, and I just presumed everything was going to be okay because that's what my ex-husband said, that we would be together in the end. He just didn't believe in the constructs of marriage. That that's why we were still having sex after we were married. So then I had to look back and I realized, oh my God, I'm an idiot. I'm a dumbass. And I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe all these men were manipulating me. I didn't want to believe that all these men were so naughty in that way. Why would you hurt a girl? Why would you hurt something so innocent in that way? Not innocent, well, yeah, innocent. Why would you hurt anything that is so incapable of defending themselves? Defenseless. You know what? Why? And it's not that I'm necessarily defenseless at all times. Of course, I snap in and out of it, and I could probably stab somebody in the jugular. I'm not gonna lie. But I don't want to do those things. I feel like if that came to the point and I had to do it, then I would do it in order to either self-preserve or to preserve the lives of those that I deem worthy, you know? I don't understand why this is happening. I don't understand why with him. Why with his background? Why with only the few things I knew about him? Why conceive? Why go through all of this to see my genuine reaction toward it? To see how I would approach the situation if it were me? Well, I'm very sad. I'm very, very disappointed in all of you. Not in myself, because I knew that I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, and I was giving him time, and I was being patient, and I was being loving and kind, and I was trying very hard to try to understand my emotions toward the entirety of the situation. I don't understand it. I don't understand all of it. I'm trying to pull all the pieces apart so I can see it, and so I can place them back together the proper way. But then, if nobody is being held accountable, yet you're holding me accountable for my freedoms of speech, then why did I lose my daughter? Everybody wants to put me in jail for things that I didn't do. And they want to keep taking from me. And this wasn't a ploy for financial gain. These videos were for my child. To reach out to her because I couldn't see her. And then I didn't have anybody to talk to about what had happened. I didn't keep my mouth shut. This is all I had. Talking to whatever's out there. The void. Because that's all it is a void. Because it's not like you're getting appropriate action or assistance when you're reaching out. They just watch and monitor you until the end. And it's kind of like that. Like when I was in and out of the psychiatric hospitals for things that I knew that's not quite right, and then being violated sexually, and one of them was not okay. Not all of them were like that. Some of them were really nice facilities. But that one, we all know what had happened. You have the footage. You have everything. You know exactly the dates. You could have, and everything is stored. I understand that you understand that this is a huge deal. And that's why when I spoke up about it and, my allegations were correct, were on point, then you realize that you really had an issue, and that's why you had to shut me up in any way possible. So I didn't really say a lot. I just shared it in those videos that I had from prior and explained a few things here and there, and then what's-his-face came along, and now I'm creating, and I'm so hormonal. I am enraged by everything. enraged by the fact that these men aren't being held accountable for their actions, that they're not being mistreated in the way that I was mistreated. Although, do I believe in castration? Yes, I totally do. Because they shouldn't be reproducing if they have that mindset. Do I believe that people can change? Yes. Yes, I do. I don't believe that everybody is born a certain way, and I do believe it has an equal amount of, it has equal parts of both nurture and nature in that way. How your environment and also the development of the people, your interactions, your healthful interactions with humans around you. I was kept away from people a lot. My mom knows I was weird. She knew I was a talkative kid, and nobody ever wanted to play with me, so I played by myself. And I went off into the woods, and I would, have imaginary friends that no one else could see. So, I was just a strange child, a very odd child, and, talking to myself came naturally. And then when this came about, being able to record myself and share it with anybody that would listen, I was excited because it was my way of being able to interact. It was my way of being able to disclose what I truly think and what I truly feel without anybody grabbing or trying to strangle me or hurt me or break any limbs or cause me to have physical pain just due to the fact that my words were striking a nerve and were true, and they were in denial of these facts. So that's why I started doing this. That's because I knew nobody could tamper with me. But now, being forced even in my own home and having to speak about this stuff, even the little things, they get irritated because I mention one thing or this or that, and it's always me. It's always, what do you do wrong? You do everything wrong, Leticia. And I'm like, what do I do wrong? I'm not doing anything. I get paid to survive right now through the government because they know I'm crazy, and they know I'm never gonna not be crazy because my PTSD is never gonna go away. So now I realize why what's-his-face said I don't believe in PTSD. Did he have to see it for himself to see how genuine I was? Did he think that whatever he had found out about me, like that I was just lying or trying to manipulate the situation, the scenario? I was homeless. I still am homeless. I don't have a fucking home. This is my mom's house. Like, what? So, I don't know who sees my videos. I don't know anymore. I really think that it's all just manipulated. I don't believe that these people are true. And, even the things that I got, the donations and even the money and everything, okay, that's real. I get it. I see it. It's tangible. I get that. But are you real? Are you who you say you are? Are you all just a part of this fucking higher shit that I don't want to fucking deal with right now? I already told you from years prior, leave me alone. And so, you didn't want to. You just wanted to egg me on and just continually harm me, and you wanted to see the repercussions and if it would happen to anybody else for harming me, and yet it does. That's how energy works. That's why I just harbor all of this, generally, and I don't lash back, because I know it's going to come back tenfold on those individuals that have done it. That's why I keep my mouth shut. That's a part of witchcraft, but not really witchcraft. It's just part of, my belief system and what I was born into, and even the Catholicism, where you have to give people that sort of leeway so that they can recognize their own indiscretions. Discretions? Wait a second. Indiscretions? Oh my god, I'm spacing the fuck out. And sometimes I know that staring at the screen and everything like that is detrimental. I get that, because then there is also the communication like that, where I can get whatever energy that stems from these electronics. I get that. I feel it a majority of the time, and it's not even just looking at the monitor for any flickering lights or any excess. I felt it physically. So, and that's why, sometimes I know when certain stuff is coming toward me, and that's why I get super depressed or certain energies happen. I didn't know that this was a thing. I mean, I knew it was a thing because I felt it. But then I had to do the research, and people had to verify this stuff for me face to face, including my psychologist. To understand if it was just me or if it was me being unhealthy. And so when I got down to a certain amount of physical activity, well, like when I got down to a certain weight and was able to incorporate so much physical activity, I felt a lot better because I knew that I was burning off some of the toxins that I was creating within my own body. So I needed to eat healthfully and drink plenty of fluids, lots of water, which I've done, which honestly, like I was telling my mother about different areas and how the contaminations work and how there's different, like even in the fields of grain and the pesticides being used, everything. I know I disclosed this stuff, and I didn't realize I was being watched for so long, and the only people that they could get to interact with me were off of dating sites, so that's how they forced this upon me. I get it. I'm not stupid. I guess I had to interact at some point, and I'm too aggressive to fucking manage sometimes. I get it. I'm not stupid. But you're not going to break me. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much I am depressed within hours or even days. I always snap back, unless there's a certain additive in me, and you know that. And I don't want any of those additives anymore or any of those pharmaceuticals. So I don't want to be controlled by you. And you know that. So, yeah. Or anyone or anything. And that's what this is all about, I guess. The violations of my body. And I know that there's words for these things. I just need to finish researching because I know it's there. I know that there's a lot of terms that I know naturally that you've violated, like of my reality, of my life, everything that was manipulated that you didn't manage properly. So, I don't know. I don't want to go to jail though. Do you have to do it like that? I mean, really? Does it have to be that way just for your storyline? So your plot looks good so that we can combat some more, or have I guess so. So that we can what is the word? Combat one another, whatever. I don't really want to debate anything. I don't. We all know I'm correct in a lot of this stuff. We all know that I've been accurate. Spot on. And that's why I'm like, why? Why can't I have some freedom right now? Why can't I have someone that cares about me? If he doesn't care about me, then I don't want anything to do with him. And then I don't want anything to do with his offspring either. Because it's a part of him. So, and that's what people don't understand. They're misperceiving everything that I'm stating. Because I feel one way doesn't mean that I don't feel the exact opposite way at the same exact time. So, I don't understand people. You have to have a balance. You have to have an understanding, and that's why people have both disdain and appreciation toward me. And I get that. I mean, it's hard not to be proud of someone that defends themselves. Now, finally. It's hard not to be proud of someone that is defending themselves against something that doesn't exist to most people. So, I don't know. It's really difficult. I want to love you guys. I want to, but you're making me mad. And I'm like, ugh, I hate you. I hate you so much lately. Like you just don't even know. And, of course, the few hours that I get in my mom's home before you're trying to trap me in a fucking facility or something to tell me that I'm fucking crazy just so that you can play your story properly. It doesn't mean that I'm actually crazy, and we all know that because there's plenty of, like, when my therapist told me, my psychologist said about the movie Conspiracy Theory with what's-his-face in it, and, that other actress, the lovely one. So, but yeah, and I don't understand you people. There are things that I make fun of, yes, but then immediately I'm like, oh, I don't really have that feeling entirely toward it. The same thing with the father of this baby. Sure, I've made fun of him. Should he get over it? Yes. Should he understand that he should own up to what he has done? Yes. Should I be in the right and him in the wrong? No. No. I feel like we should both have equal parts in that, because there's an understanding that we're supposed to have a balance in life, the yin and yang. So, what am I supposed to do for this offspring? I didn't destroy it immediately, and it was not up to me. It's God's will. Unfortunately, it was me. Unfortunately, it was him. Yet, I guess fortunately for this child, in that way, he was able to come through into this world. And he's not even fully here yet. Like, if he came out of me, yes, I could die. Do I wish death upon me when I'm giving birth? No. Why would I, right? I don't feel like I'm worth anything anymore. You guys have made that clear. And I've known that my entire life, so what's the difference? And that's why I try not to cry about that. I cry about your mental illnesses. I cry about the fact that you're in denial. I cry because you're not seeing what I'm trying to tell you, and nobody's listening. And I keep I feel like the fairy in Ocarina of Time, when it's like, listen, listen. So, and nobody's listening. I love that video game. I love everything. I hate that it was over. You know? There's some things like, I love a lot of stuff. And just because I despise some things at the same time doesn't mean anything. Because I still have an appreciation for it. Everything around me. Even the dust, even the chemicals, even the carcinogens. Because I know that it's beneficial to our expansion and our evolution, as well as our will to survive. Like you say, survival of the fittest. Do I feel like I'm that fit? No. Gunshot. No, I don't feel like I'm that fit. Why are you forcing me into this compliance then? Why are you forcing me into this submission or this state of submission? I don't understand it. I will not go. No, I refuse. And also, too, the fact that you actually got me in jail doesn't mean shit. That just means that you're going to be fucked soon. And by soon, it could be eons. Time, that's not how it works. And we understand that. And I already understood that prior to people telling me about physics and, different, like, astrological physics or something like that, and also dimensional, whatever, knowledge. I knew about some stuff because I watched a lot of cartoons. But it wasn't the cartoons that really informed me. It was the fact that I had these ideations outside of that, and these ideations, they are sort of like fantasy a lot of times. That's why I would draw a lot of things, and I drew a lot of people because I didn't see anybody but myself, really, and I went to school, and those were the only people that I interacted with, and I always had, I had a good rapport with the people that I went to school with. I hardly ever had any altercations or anything like that. The same concept with the workplaces, the places of employment that I had prior. They would never say that I was the issue. Never. So when I went crazy and everything during my marriage and divorce after the physical assault, that's what really set it off. And then no one reprimanded the people. And that's what really hurt. Instead, you've continually reprimanded me, and it's been 6 years since I was able to see my daughter, and I wasn't the issue. I was actually the opposite of the issue. I was the one trying to get everybody to seek therapy and seek guidance and seek some type of penance, or but they refuse. People don't want to see it. They're hypocrites, and they'll use words against you, and they'll make you believe that they're wholesome. They'll make you believe that they're genuine. They'll make you believe that you're an honest soul. But you can see right through that a lot of times. But I try. Boy, I really fucking try. And like, even with the father of the baby, I was like, boy, you don't even know. Like, you're lying straight to my face. And just the way that he interacted, and the way that, like, even afterward, and he asked me, he was like, well, what changed from, last night to this morning? 'Cause you stuck your penis in me already? So I was like, oh shit, I better fucking just enjoy it while it lasts. Like, we're short-term relationship in that way. I didn't see anything coming from that. I didn't see anything from, like, this one-nighter that you have forced upon me. And I was like, you're never gonna get in trouble. Watch. Like, no dude ever gets in trouble when he's fucking with me. And that's the sad part. And then I put myself out there as an even grander target for everyone else to get to. And it's like, yeah, here you go. Nice, clean, tight pussy right here. Like, that's crazy. Like, you guys need some help. And I obviously need help, and nobody's giving it to me. Nobody's offering me the things that I've been asking for. So instead, I just scream about it. Like a spoiled brat that somebody called me. You're a spoiled brat. Good. I don't give a fuck. I'll never grow up. I will always be that age when the trauma started happening and when I had my first suicide attempt, and I know that. That was the main trauma. The trauma of having the lack of oxygen to my brain as an adolescent. I'm not retarded. I am retarded, obviously, but, like, I'm not retarded. So, but yeah, so people make fun of me, and I'm like, hold on, that's a form of some type of autism. I don't know. Maybe it is Asperger's or something, because I don't know how to communicate well with people. I just tell them what they want to hear, mostly, because I'm scared. And I'm like, what do you want? Are you going to hit me? Are you going to touch me? Don't touch me. Don't hit me. I get so scared. I used to flinch so often when people would reach up, and now I've gotten really good about, like, being confident enough to go out and everything, and I put up a facade when I'm wearing my dresses and my pumps and, like, do my hair and makeup. It's like a completely different person in that way, because I have the confidence to walk about in a sort of respectable way where people only see the exterior, people only see the aesthetics. So I realized that many years ago, and even when I went to school, I would put my hair in a certain way, I would wear certain outfits, and I wasn't allotted that much, financially. So, like, my family they were very poor, so I just picked and chose the style that I preferred, and I'm sure a lot of people remember me for my style, my sense of weird. Now was very different. I couldn't wear all black back then, but now everything is just turned dark for me because of the fact that you're not listening. Nobody's listening, and that's why we cut. That's why we do these crazy things. And you're like, oh yeah, they should be labeled crazy. No, bitch. Like, you weren't listening when you fucking did this shit, and now all of a sudden I just have to shut up and eat it? Oh my god, I want to cut myself. Like, I click my heels when I'm so upset, and like, and they know it. They've seen it, and they've tried to stop me from doing it. So, I'm just not doing well. You guys are crazy. How am I supposed to have a baby without any place to stick it? And then you guys are trying to tell me to go fucking this and that, go get a job, go this and that. These people tell me I'm going to jail. Fuck you. I'd rather fucking drink Drano. Fuck you. So, fuck you. Nobody wants to go to jail. Nobody wants to sit out time, because I don't want to do it either. You don't give me any entertainment. You don't give me anything to do. These people are scary because they've done drugs and stuff. They're not that scary. I like them. But they're, they have a different mindset than I do. And I just want to progress. I just want to go to school or something, or become more educated than I already am. And you guys are crazy. I know I'm whining right now because that's all I have in me right now. That's the emotion I have. Whiny crybaby. Thank you, kitty. He's like, no, but don't hold me. Okay, you'll sit next to me. So anyway, yeah, I know this cat tries to coddle me too. Like, he tries to offer me some compassion, some companionship. That's what I was looking for. A companion animal. That's all you are, animals anyway. Is you just gotta pick and choose which one is not so dumb and will actually pay attention to your fucking words for 5 minutes, because the rest of the goddamn time they're only thinking about penis and vagina. Gross. Gross. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. I think I'm hilarious, but it's not funny. I'm very aggravated. I can't believe it's already been an hour. My family was in there watching a movie, and I was supposed to be in there watching it with them, but no. Instead, I was in here sharing my emotions, because that's all I've got. That's all I've got left in me, is try to expose what you guys are doing, and fuck you. Suck a dick. So, and why do I have to say these vulgar terms? Why? Why do I have to treat you in such a manner? Why? Why do I have to have this reactive abuse toward your abuse and quit talking to me like that? I'm not the fucking jailbird here. Fuck you. I didn't do anything. I was getting trouble for my mouth. And it's like, wait a second. Haven't I helped you a lot with my mouth? That's perverse. But really, no, haven't I helped you a lot with the things that I fucking share with you? Yeah. Fucking assholes. Helps you look into things so that you can understand where fucking crazy is coming from. You think I'm not understanding of that? God damn, I know. I wish I had a poodle. I wish I had a puppy. My own puppy. But then you would kill it. You would steal it and you would kill it. You'd rob it from me anyway. Just like this baby. So I can't even wish that I had a baby. Because I already have a baby and you're going to take it anyway. Because you're crazy. Because I didn't go and find the resources for it. Because I didn't keep my mouth shut. Because I didn't just wait until there was fucking child support. So you're going to take it from me and give it to someone else and destroy both of our lives. It's okay. I don't really care. I mean, I know better than to expect that you would do the right thing by me. You've never done it. And I knew it from the very beginning, and that's why I like the whole thing with the father of this baby, Jason Lee Wallace. So, yeah. And I can't help it. These things come out because I'm just so sad inside. I'm so dead. I'm so sad. I couldn't talk to anybody growing up because they told me I couldn't talk about certain things. And then when I would talk to family about these instances, they would tell me that no one wants to hear it. So I never really got that resolve. I never got that where it became better. Like it got better through me reaching out and trying to seek it. So I just figured God had cursed me. That there's been a blockage because my blood is cursed. So there's not a whole lot I can say or do. I know that I'm blessed in some ways, but what are these blessings? They're nothing compared to all the blessings everyone else receives on a daily basis. So my blessings are just like fresh water and food and clothes and just the little things. That's why I didn't spend any money. I mean, not a whole lot. I never had money. I didn't have the opportunity to buy all this fancy stuff, this finery, and all of my stuff I just sort of maintained, and now it's all dilapidated and destroyed or lost or missing or stolen. And I know I'm worthless. Like, nothing about me is worth saving to you people or to the father of this child. Anything. And I've known that for a long time. That's why I just didn't vocalize this. But then with the baby inside of me, I don't care if I go to prison. I don't care if I go to jail for standing up for myself. It's the principle of the thing. And I will not retract that. I will have to fight it. I'm not guilty of what you say I'm doing. So, but in that sense too, I know that the hardships are gonna come, and that's difficult because I thought I already went through so much already in my life. That's how I was taking moments to try to go and chill and travel during this pregnancy to try to seek that comfort that I felt I deserved. I felt that I should have by this point in my life some stable relationship, some one person that was there as a stable companion. And this baby is not a companion. This baby is a child. This baby could never take the place of its father. And so that's why I was willing to just give him away, and not to adopt him out, because that's irrational. I've already lost 3 babies prior, so there's no reason that I should have to lose it like that again. Even if it's CPS involved and they say that I was smoking marijuana while pregnant and whatever, go for it. I don't really care. You're gonna fuck the baby up by not letting him breastfeed and everything and allowing us to have a relationship. But even then, I wouldn't want to. If you're gonna take him from me anyway, I don't see the point in placing effort into it. The father didn't place any effort into us. Neither did the judicial systems. So I understand that, being unwanted, it comes naturally. It's normal for me, and I knew that I was never to look or seek for acceptance, because that's not who I am anyway. I'm kind of an oddball. I'm kind of one of those loners, and it doesn't matter to me if you like me or not. It doesn't matter to me if you accept me or not, or if you are lenient toward me whatsoever. I feel like you understand that I'm clearly innocent. You understand that I'm clearly not in the wrong, and I don't want to make anybody look like they're in the wrong by admitting that I'm in the right. But at the same time, I feel like, something's got to give, and if it doesn't give soon, then I'm gonna harm myself. It's too much stress. And even this moment to where I have to deal with what's going on in the real world, in the outside world, away from the shelter of my mother, I don't want to be out there with you people. I don't ever want to go near you. I don't ever want to see anybody. I don't even want to see what this baby looks like. I don't. I just want to live by myself in my head with my drawings and with my writing. You people are too cruel to be around. I thought maybe at some point someone would care. And I didn't even talk to Jason about my life. I didn't explain to him because I knew he didn't have that temperament. He didn't care. He didn't want to know. And I wasn't going to open up to someone that clearly was out to use me and out to manipulate me. So I didn't even tell him my story because I knew I would never sleep with him willingly. And I guess he knew that too. So that's where we're at right now. And I don't know why we would have the proper chemistry to have been able to conceive in that short span, but I don't know. I don't like what's going on. I'm sure a lot of people don't like what goes on to them because you're doing this to manipulate it, and people are like, no, what goes on in one jurisdiction doesn't have anything to do with another and whatever, and you did this to yourself. And I'm like, no, I didn't. What are you talking about? Like, I didn't even do it. And then all of a sudden they're using these things, and they're using these fucking crazy manipulation tactics and these cruel punishments, and you're gonna try to revoke a bond. No, I didn't violate it. There's something wrong here. And I told them, that's why I laughed. And you guys were like, fucker, just because I'm not guilty. What's wrong with you? That's why I laugh. Because, like, I'm sad and I'm happy because I'm like, I already know God's going to save me regardless in that way. And even if I go to jail, that may not be the salvation I'm talking about. Maybe it'll be being stabbed while I'm in there. That would be great. Like, honestly, bleeding out, and, like, that would be my story. That would be amazing. And then people actually researching and doing, like, just by what had happened after I'm dead. I've always just, like, better off dead, you know? This world is insane. And even, like my mother said, everything's going to shit. And because I told her about the cups that she uses, and, like, how they don't seem to be labeled properly. And just because she went for, like, the certain color scheme, that they might be toxic because they're made of cheap plastic. So we're eating and drinking out of these cups and everything, and it could be detrimental to our health. And at first she argued with me. When I first got here. She wanted to call me crazy again for getting myself into trouble. And then when she took some time and realized how sad it I wish you would stop. You know I'm not to blame. And you know, it's like I just walk with my head held high anyway. Right up to the firing squad, and you guys are acting like I don't matter whatsoever. And I don't care if you put me in prison for 3 to 5 years, like some bitch said. I don't care. You guys are crazy. I would survive. That afterward I would tell my story, and then I would try to get somebody to help me get a lawsuit going, because that's not okay. Because at this point, this is getting out of hand. And you know better. So, I don't want to do any of that. Can we just bypass any of this crazy and just, like, go straight to the good stuff? Because I'm sick and tired of this. I'm literally under so much stress that I had contractions today. And I have contractions now. And it's just getting worse. Like, I only have a few more weeks. And you're purposefully trying to make me stress out so that the worst happens. And I wouldn't care either way. I've already been through the worst of the worst, honestly. Aside from losing limbs and losing any type of, like, eyesight or hearing. Because we both know that that's nearly perfect. So I don't want to do this anymore. I don't. You're not listening. You're not. And I don't really care if my mom sees me after I'm gone like that. She made peace with that a long time ago, to know that I was already gone. And I'm tired. I'm exhausted, and I'm in a lot of pain, emotionally, physically, psychologically, sexually, obviously. I don't want to do this anymore. I will not bow down to you people. I would rather die. And if that is by my own hands during the time that I'm allowed to be alone, then I swear to Christ, come knocking on the door and I will drink that fucking shit underneath the goddamn drain. I will find something. And don't take this as a fucking threat, it's a promise. I am done. I am completely fucking done. I don't want to make any more goddamn videos. I don't want to make any fucking clarifications of the events. I don't want to argue with fools. I don't want to get paid measly pennies on the dollar for my story, the truth behind it, and what you've inflicted upon me. All of you. Make this right. And if you don't, then I'll pray for you. I laughed before. This isn't funny. It never was funny. I was being dead serious, but I knew that you wouldn't listen. I knew it would take you time to recognize that you're all damned, doomed for everything that you've inflicted upon me. So, peace be with you. You're gonna need it. You're gonna need my reassurance. Because when you start passing, when you have that lack of oxygen, you're gonna be in a lot more pain than I am. And will be. Even when I'm gasping for my last breath, covered in my own blood. The blood shed by you people. So, I used to laugh. I used to tell you, like, these are warnings, like, but this is no threat. This is a warning to your soul. The worse mine suffers, the worse yours will as well. If not more. So, I'm not sure why people keep trying to harass me. I'm not sure why people keep trying to manipulate me into exposing things that this is my entire character. This is in my entire being. I go from one end to the other, and then I kind of like mix it up in the middle, and that's how I manage. So, if you don't understand that, and if you're trying to say I manipulate or any of that shit, you already know. You're doomed. You didn't understand, and you didn't repent, and you didn't reform. You didn't comply to the real God's will. So, I don't understand you people at all. I love you very much. I do. I love that you've sent me into this state of insanity, this madness. I love when I cut myself. It allows me to reflect on the fabric of this realm, this organic matter. The pain is nothing. The pain of this childbirth will be nothing. Sure, I cry and I whine and I'm spoiled to some people because I don't want to go through it. But I've already lived through it. I've already lived through it many times. So really, honestly, do you really think that you're affecting me? No. No. So, I'll continue to pray for you and your souls. I'll continue to pray for your acceptance and your change, your awakening, your awareness to what you do to others and everything around you, and how you steal from the fragments of other people's reality in order to sustain yourself out of selfishness. And I'm trying so hard to not even be human, to not even be here, to not exist anymore. Because I know it's a sin to take from the world around me, even out of pleasure. Isn't that right, Jason? Was that not selfishness? Was that not a sin to you? Was your lustfulness for my body, was that good enough? Was it good enough to never be able to make amends with that person? Was that good enough? To go to your grave knowing that there will never be any reconciliation? you won't get that peace. And so you'll be fucked. So, but yeah, it doesn't even matter, because at this point I've disengaged. I already knew that he wasn't going to act appropriately, that he wasn't going to act like a man, a real man. And I shouldn't have any respect for cretins like that. And just because I understand the terms that I use, and I understand the way that it flows, and people presume that I'm normal. I'm not normal. I am a disabled citizen of the United States of America, and I have special needs. I have special rights because of those needs, because of those demands. Okay? To be equal. To stop being persecuted and judged for the wrong reasons and discriminated against for my records that don't coincide with my personality, that don't coincide with what actually happened. So I'll pray for all of you, and I'll get off of here because I don't feel like being on here much longer. July 16th, 2022, Leticia Collins Servin. I hope everybody's having a lovely, blessed weekend, and that you get whatever karma is coming to you. Miracles happen every day.